Hi guys, this is Matt from EveryCloud Technologies. Today I'm going to be giving you an overview of the control panel. What I'd like you to do, just give yourself 15-20 minutes, just block that out of your diary to watch this video. Also grab yourself a coffee. A lot of information, may want to grab a pen and a paper just to take a few notes. You can obviously recap this video anytime you want, and hopefully we will put some pointers of where you can jump to in the timeline, so you can just recap on specifics if you want to. This is the control panel, can be accessed from anywhere in the world. We're just going to log into a demo reseller account now. Once we log in, the first tab that we come to is called the Workspace tab. We're going to come back to this tab shortly so we can go through that in more detail. But what I want to do is show you how quick and easy it is to set up a reseller under your account. If you notice in the top left hand corner, in this instance we have Demo Reseller. This is where your customer name will be. Simply highlight it once just by clicking it once. The Client Add button appears in the bottom left hand corner. Click that once and the pop-up box to be able to insert the data is now available to be seen. We're looking for the primary domain. In this instance we'll just use test1511.co.uk. Now it's asking us for an email address. This email address is for an on-site admin if you want that on-site admin to log in as the domain controller and administer the global black and white list for the customer's domain. Now most of our resellers are the on-site admin, so they can put their details in here and just put a dummy password in because the system will need a username and password to move forward. We check the time, we can set the customer to any time zone in the world obviously, and then we click activate email filtering. Now there's going to be a small pop-up message that comes in a second. Given the option premium filtering or blocking, we choose premium filtering. The pop-up message just says that this filter type can't be removed after being saved. Now we have a box here that says number of users. This is the number of physical employees within the business. This is not the number of email addresses. We only charge for physical employees. We don't charge for alias domains or alias email addresses. The next input box is the destination. Where would you like the clean email to be delivered? This can either be a host name or an IP address. We also have the ability for the customer to send outbound traffic to us. We need the IP address of the outbound circuit. Number of advantages to that. One of those is if your customer's server was hacked or they had malware on site which was sending spam, we would stop that getting into the internet and stop your customer being blacklisted. Also you can see we have a box here ticked called Bounce Management. This is if your customer's email address was faked or spoofed by a spammer, then we would block any of the backscatter, NDRs, anything coming back and blocking the anything coming back and swamping your customer's mail server, we would block. Now, rather than you having to laboriously upload users into our system, we have something called the recipient address check. When we deliver a mail to the mail server, we're asking, is the email address valid? If the mail server accepts the email, then we automatically create a user for that address. Hence the reason why it's very important that the number of users here is set for accounting purposes only. We have the ability to activate advanced routing either on users or individual groups. This can be sent to a different IP address or to a POP mail account if you wanted to. For spam handling, we store emails in quarantine, or we can simply tag them and they'll just come to the customer's mailbox as normal. We have something called the info mail filter. We can activate the info mail filter and we can allow users to switch the info mail filter on and off. Some marketing departments like to receive lots of newsletters and newsletters from their competitors so they can make comparisons. So we do give the user the ability to switch info mail off. If you're working on a multi-site environment, then the alternative IP address for relay check can be submitted there. Simply hit the save button. That information has now been propagated throughout our network, and you can see here that test1511.co.uk is now in our system. You can change the MX records now. This is live. You don't need to notify us. You don't need to tell anybody. It's live within the system. You can see from the drop down menu there we have a number of domains that have been set up. Those are individual customers. One single log on for logging into the control panel. You can administer all of your customers from one log on. Not only can you administer the customer in terms of adding new users, but you can also check within the workspace the call data, the call logs, the email logs of your individual clients. Anyway, once we've got the clients' MX records, and the MX records are sent to us, we can go down to the customer's domain and review the information that we used to set the customer up. In the filtering tab, you can see the IP address and here, and you can change those if need be. But now we had some other tabs along the top which we can start to look at enhancing the service for the customer. Now, the spam report, we talked about the spam report earlier on. We can activate the spam report here. I will try and find you a spam report. I'm working on two windows, so just bear with me a second. Okay, so I found a spam report. I'm just going to drag it across here, and you can see this is the body of a spam report. From the body of the spam report, we can deliver or whitelist emails that were stopped as info mail, or spam messages we can just deliver here. Okay, now all of this, these spam reports have the ability to be white labeled. Our control panel has the ability to be white labeled, the URL, the logos, and the color scheme as well. White labeling is done free of charge. All you need to do is simply talk to your account manager or one of the guys in the sales support, and we will arrange white labeling for you. So you could see that viruses here, we don't as standard give the ability to deliver, and we are currently not showing messages stopped on content, but I'll come on to the content filter shortly. We can allow users to log into the control panel to be able to define their own delivery times. We also have the ability to set up an accumulative report for, say, an on-site admin, and then the individual users will not receive a report. The admin will receive a single report containing all of the data and information for that time zone. Once again, I did say that we have the ability to create white labeled spam report templates, and I'll come on to that shortly. To set the times, simply select the hours that you wish the spam report to come. Obviously, if there's no spam, no report will be generated. Simply to save that, some fields are not correctly filled in. That's because I didn't put an email address in the box here. Let's uncheck that, hit the save button, and that's now been successfully stored. The content filter that we referred to earlier on, this is where you would define your customer's inbound and outbound email policy. So for example, if you don't want your customer to receive .exe files, MP3, MP4 files, you can define that here. We can either cut the attachment and inform the sender, or just block the email. Now, if we remember, if we go back to the spam report tab that we just looked at, the content is not being shown within the spam report, but if you wanted to, you could tick the box in the spam report tab, just here, tick the box for content, and this will show the content that's blocked within the spam report, and that can be delivered if you want to. You can also have for the outbound policy as well. Let's say, for example, your customer has a telesales team within a group of telesales agents, and you don't want them to send maybe database files or potentially confidential information. You could block the outbound attachments using the content filter email policy. We also have a compliance filter. This is an incredibly complex tool for manipulating the inbound and outbound email. We can use an advanced view from to a specific IP address, from a specific host name, containing certain words within the subject, or over a specific size. And the actions that we can take are reject, reroute, redirect, reroute to a different IP address, tag as clean, spam, virus, or add a BCC. So for an example, a managing director may want to be blind copied on any email that's sent to his company that contains the word purchase order. So it's an incredibly powerful tool. I have further documentation on that if you'd like some more information on that. We also offer encryption using TLS, SMIME, PGP. They can it can all be administered from the control panel from this particular page here. We also have the ability to add a mail footer or disclaimer, plain text. We do have the ability to add HTML. That will be a feature available within the control panel shortly, but until then our second line support team will be happy to install the HTML footers for you. So we came and landed originally on the workspace tab. All you would need to do if you want to look for a particular email, let's use this domain here, mattbaker.co.uk. We have a predefined set of templates on the, or date ranges templates on the left hand side here. So we want to search for the entire March period. The from to subject lines are all searchable using wildcards. Alternatively, you could click on a recipient's address here, mb@mattbaker.co.uk, double click there, and you can see the system will automatically filter on the desired email address that we've searched on. We also have a display filter here. The display filter can filter just on spam messages. In this instance there are no spam messages for that particular email address. Info mails. When we look at the preview, we can see the header information only. We can't see the body of the message. It's just the header information. Obviously there's no SMTP information in this because the email hasn't been delivered to the mail server. This is still sat on our network currently. We will hold spam messages, info mail, messages blocked as virus or blocked as content. We hold those for 90 days. Okay. We also have some hidden columns, status, IP address, SMTP code from the mail server. So let's just change this view again back to adopted. Let's just take out the recipient there, hit the search button, and we can see the status of delivered and the SMTP code of 250. 250 meaning that it was accepted by the customer's mail server. That's telling us, Every Cloud Technologies, that we have done our job and we have delivered it to the original recipient. Let's just take a clean message and we say that we can see our customer's email. If we hit the preview button, we can see the SMTP information, very important. Also, if we click the text, clean emails are not stored. We do not physically have the ability to read a customer's email. Very important. Once we're in this workspace, we also have the ability to administer not only the user's black and white list directly from this workspace, but also for an admin black and white list. So for example, let's take this here. This email from KGB Deals. It's currently stuck as info mail, but if I want to whitelist for the entire domain, I simply click the whitelist button. That email has now been released, and also the domain whitelisted for the entire, so all users under the domain mattbaker.co.uk. So an incredibly powerful search tool. As I said before, wildcards can be used in the from, to and subject line. and we can also filter on the reason code as well. If you need any help at all and you need to find out what some of these reason codes are, if you click the help button in the top right hand corner, this will download a copy of the control panel manual. You will be able to download and view, I think it's something like 70 pages of well documented information on the control panel. Let's have a look at the statistics now. Very, very useful. If you've got a customer on a 30-day evaluation, just as they're coming up to the end of the trial, one of the things that you can send them is the statistics of their trial. This is the trial, or these are the statistics for the month of March for this domain. You can see here, rejected, 68% of messages to this domain were rejected. This means they were rejected because they came from known spammers, they came from known blacklisted IP addresses, they came from compromised machines or blacklisted IP ranges that spammers have historically used. Okay, every email that is rejected, we send a message to the original or to the sender to tell them that their email hasn't been delivered for the following reason. We then give a code for what that reason is, and then a link in the rejection email for the recipient. If the recipient was a genuine sender, sorry, if they were a genuine sender, then they have the ability to unblock themselves. Now, if it was a spammer, what we're doing, we're not allowing a spammer to whitelist himself against the system. What happens is they can unblock themselves, but they still go through the anti-spam filters and our virus filters as well. So all we're doing is effectively just giving them access into our system to be filtered. Okay, but you could see here, if this was sent to a client, one could argue that we have made this person 68% more efficient because of the emails that he has not received, which he would have had to have dealt with. Okay, so a very powerful tool using the statistics. I'd like to go back to the management tab again, just to talk about the other products and services that we can upsell to a client. So I showed you what features were available to the customer within the basics anti-spam, anti-virus filtering that we do. We also offer something called continuity service. Now, continuity service is an insurance policy. It's not something that it should be activated at the point that your customer's mail server fails. It's an insurance policy because we hold a true 90-day rolling archive of clean email. That archive can be accessed at the point of an emergency where the mail server is unavailable. All clean email will automatically be routed to either a webmail or a POP account, and then the customer can release from archive the previous 90 days worth of clean traffic so that they can continue working. At the point that the mail server has been restored, the emails that were sent to continuity will then be sent directly back to the mail server, and once back at the mail server, the released emails that were released from archive will not be sent back, so there's no chance of duplicates. Okay, so that's the continuity service. Archiving, we have an Outlook plugin so that the archiving can be searched directly from the body of Outlook, or the customer can access the archived email from the Workspace tab as well. All you simply need to do is select the duration from 3 months to 30 years, hit the add button, small pop-up message just says that there's an additional charge for this product, hit the save button, and then all inbound and outbound email will be archived for the period or the duration that you selected. Okay, so that was a very, very quick overview of the anti-spam service. Have a look at the web filter demo that I'm going to do shortly. There'll be another video along shortly. If you need any help, speak direct to the support team, or you can give us a call on 0844 887 0000.